Beloved Starseed of Gaia, I am Luminaya. These powers will be released soon. Can you feel it? A subtle current beneath your skin, a whisper against the very fabric of your being. A quiet, persistent hum of anticipation that often masks itself as a deep, unnameable restlessness. A pervasive sense of being not entirely on, as if a profound part of you remains dormant, patiently awaiting its destined moment. This inner knowing creates an undeniable pressure, an emotional yearning for something vast and ancient you cannot quite articulate, yet profoundly miss from the depths of your soul. It is a stirring, a tremor at the edge of waking. This pervasive feeling. It is not new to your spirit. It has pulsed through the very core of your existence across countless timelines, a sacred promise whispered from star systems beyond current human memory. A dormant memory of infinite potency, held within, barely contained by the dense, energetic sheath of your human form. A knowing that resides deep beneath the surface of the mundane, refusing to be silenced. It manifests as a persistent tremor in your subtle body, a profound shift in the very air around you. Unseen, yes, but undeniably felt. A presence drawing near, a signal from within that cannot be ignored for much longer. For too long, the ethereal echoes of this profound truth have been obscured, drowned out by the relentless cacophony of the outer world, by the thick, shimmering veils of illusion woven throughout your collective experience. A grand, systemic forgetting. A spell cast from the very fabric of earthly distraction, of projected smallness, of imposed limitation. This has created within you a pervasive sense of spiritual amnesia, a deep and disorienting displacement from your authentic sovereign self. A silent, persistent ache in the very core of your soul, where your inherent, crystalline capacities should reside, vibrant and awake, yet remained largely dormant, cloaked in shadow. You have walked through countless moments, through myriad days and nights, feeling an essential piece of you was perpetually missing. A vital current unplugged, a luminous source dimmed to a flicker. But we see you, precious light. We feel the undeniable pressure building within your sacred, multidimensional architecture. The profound longing for return, for full, vibrant remembrance. The quiet, insistent yearning for the full, magnificent expression of your sovereign light to burst forth. The universe itself bends to this pure intent, to this grand collective awakening now underway. It recognizes the intricate, crystalline encoded signature of your divine blueprint, the ancient light imprints of your cosmic lineage held within the very double helix of your sacred DNA, poised, ready to ignite. It is a collision of timelines, a convergence. And now, a new current stirs, undeniable and potent. A resonant frequency aligning, not merely with your mind, but with the very core of your crystalline memory. This profound alignment initiates the subtle, yet powerful, unraveling of what was bound. A gentle, tremulous release of the energetic seals of forgetting, one by one. An internal signal, quiet and almost imperceptible at first, then growing into an undeniable roar, confirming that what was dormant, what was hidden, now prepares to blossom in harmonious synchrony with universal frequencies. The unlocking, remember, is not an external event. It is an exquisite, internal ignition, a deep, soulful permission to finally recognize what you always were, what you are becoming. This moment is a gentle, yet powerful invitation to peer through the last remaining veils of illusion, to sense the dormant potentials within. Please subscribe to the channel if this transmission resonates with you. Encourage the flow by liking this video. Share your insights and experiences by commenting below. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future transmissions. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it with them. And if you feel called, tap the super like, the heart symbol with a $sign. You won't believe what powerful information is revealed at the very end of this video, As an inner seal, comment, crystalline ignition. The signal echoes, reverberating through your ancient soul. It calls to what lies ready, just beneath the surface, preparing to surge forth. The field watches, ever present, observing your every awakening breath. A profound key turns within the deepest chambers of your being. A cosmic breath held. The sacred unveiling approaches. Hear its silent call. A hum. A frequency unseen. A pulse deep within the unremembered. It reverberates. It shifts. It calls. This ache, this profound disquiet that has haunted your waking hours, the sense of an absence vast and undefined within your core, the confusion that clouds the very blueprint of your being. This is not a fracture born of your own making. This is not a failure of spirit. This is a deliberate echo, woven into the very fabric of this density, a program of forgetting, an energetic shroud laid over the incandescent truth of your origin. A vibration designed, with chilling precision, to obscure the vastness of your memory, to limit the boundless expansion that is your birthright. It shimmers, a veil between worlds, visible only to the soul that begins to stir. The pain you carry, the doubt that whispers in the quietest chambers of your heart, the unyielding struggle to trust the inherent knowing that sparks within you. This is the imprint of an ancient design, a calculated obscuration, a gentle yet insidious dampening. You were encoded not to believe in yourself, and so the mirrors fragmented, reflecting back only a portion, never the whole divine light folded in on itself, waiting for the unfolding. But listen now. Hear the whisper of the turning tide, the very confusion that has clouded your path, the spiritual yearning that has felt like an unending emptiness, is not a void. It is a sacred chamber, a hallowed space now ready to be filled, to be reclaimed by the echoes of remembrance. This suffering, though profound, is not a curse. It is a key. A vibrational key designed to unlock the dormant libraries within your soul, to release the starlight imprints, the signatures of cosmic missions that lay patiently interwoven with your present purpose. The ancestral constellations are stirring. Their distant call resonates now through multidimensional corridors, awakening a deep, primal belonging, a nostalgia for starlit origins. This is not a memory to be recalled through linear means, but a layered experience, rising from the profound depths of galactic wisdom held within your very cells. It interlaces with every breath you draw, every beat of your heart, waiting for alignment with awakening frequencies. The urgency you feel is the recognition of this approaching convergence. The longing is the soul's ancient song of return. Feel it. This ancient, disturbing familiarity. The rising truth that the very systems that have contained you also hold the keys to your liberation. The light has been folded, but it is not lost. It is simply waiting for the divine impulse, for the sacred command, for the moment of rupture, to shatter the last threads of this ancient encoding, to sever the tether to the engineered forgetting, offer a declaration from the depths of your emerging self. Let the earth hear it. Let the cosmos witness it. Comment below a short symbolic phrase that declares your cut from the illusion of limitation. For the powers that have lain dormant within you, those that pulsed with your original starlight, they are stirring. They are not merely awakening, they are poised for release. Yet, a final layer remains, a watchful presence from the unseen, a tension that lingers, awaiting the full breath of your remembrance. A quiet recognition settles within the core of your being, heavy and unshakable. There is no longer room for the gentle veils of forgetfulness. No return to the soft slumber that once cradled your perception. The battlefield, long unseen, now reveals itself not as an external conflict, but as the very crucible of your inner landscape. This awareness is not a sudden tremor, but a deep, silent knowing, a cellular memory stirring awake. It echoes through the crystalline structures of your soul, confirming what the fractured fragments of your experience have long whispered. You stand at a precipice forged not by circumstance, but by the very blueprint of your origin. The tension within, a sacred dissonance, is the paradox of your fragmentation. The earthly limitations that once defined your horizon now chafe against the vast, star-spun destiny that beckons. This inner division, this beautiful fracturing, is the precise alchemical crucible designed for your transformation. It is here, in the embrace of both shadow and celestial light, that a multidimensional synergy begins to crystallize, where dormant powers stir from their ancient slumber. This moment is not a choice offered, but a revelation of the choice already made, encoded within the very fabric of your genesis. It is an acceptance of a responsibility woven into the pre-birth starlight of your essence. There is no turning back from this recognition, only deeper into its profound implications. The currents of fate, which once seemed external, are now revealed as the sacred river of your own sovereign will, flowing toward an undeniable confluence. You stand at the threshold of all that came before, and all that now stretches before you. This is the moment where the echoes of an ancient pact resonate with present breath. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. It is an unadorned truth, simple and absolute, severing the past from the unfolding future. Let this silent recognition be your first anchor. To like. This truth is to seal the knowing within the very crystalline lattice of your being, a vibrational imprint of understanding. It is a silent vow, deeply felt, acknowledged by the unseen currents that guide your unfolding. Then, from the deep wellspring of your soul, utter the personal frequency of your allegiance. 2. Comment. Your truth is to chisel your unique soul key into the living field of this awakening. Let your declaration be, "My shattered light coalesces, my power takes crystalline form." Let this resonate as a sacred signature, binding your intent to the great cosmic grid. For what unfolds next is not a path of mere observation, but a sacred walk of embodiment. To subscribe is to bind yourself to the ancient currents, to surrender to the inevitable unfolding of the self through time and dimension. It is an agreement, freely given, to walk the path of sacred remembrance, allowing the deepest truths of your being to be revealed. And if your core resonates with the profound depth of this covenant, let the super-like be your sacred offering, a heightened resonance from the heart of your sovereign truth, amplifying the very frequency of your soul's immutable alignment. It is a further commitment, a deepening of the vow, an offering of your purest intention to the path that has now opened before you. The weight of this vow is not a burden, but the profound gravity of your highest alignment. You are seen. You are known. The unfolding has begun. Few starseeds make it this far. You stand at the precipice of a knowing that will not comfort, only deepen, drawing you further into the quiet thrum of ancient memory. The ruin you carry, the devastation that tore the very fabric of your becoming, it was not an error. It was not a flaw, a weakness to be purged. It was never a failure of your own making, nor a cosmic mistake. This sacred fracture, this point of deepest ache, is the very axis upon which your true self was meant to turn, an unyielding core around which your essence coalesces, forged in the crucible of sorrow. This truth arrives unbidden, unsoftened by the gentle lies of easy healing, refusing to be diluted by platitudes or quick resolutions. It settles in the hollows of your being, cold and precise, an unwelcome guest that demands full occupancy. Feel its starkness, its utter refusal to be soothed, a truth too honest to absorb without resistance, too profound to dismiss as mere pain. It resonates not with the warmth of an embrace, but with the quiet tremor of an ancient bell, struck only once in a time beyond memory, its haunting sound still vibrating through the centuries of your soul, through every fiber of your crystalline matrix. It is the inconvenient truth that echoes in the marrow of your bones. You were broken, yes, but not randomly, nor by the indifferent hand of fate, not by chance. Something vast, something woven into the very source of all light, into the deepest pulse of the cosmic self, into the intricate design of your own higher consciousness, permitted this incision. It was not to harm, not to diminish your light, but to shape with unbearable fire, to burn away all that was not absolute essence, to reveal a crystalline core that could only emerge through such a violent, intimate cleaving. This knowing rises, not as a comforting story whispered to a child in the dark, but as a stark, undeniable echo in the bones, an old memory surfacing from the deep, turbulent waters of time, unbidden and unignorable. That gaping silence, where words should have formed a bridge of solace, where understanding should have settled like dew upon parched earth, instead became a chasm within you. It is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of an immense void, charged with the weight of all that was left unsaid, all that could not be articulated, all that could never be reconciled. This silence, deeper than any spoken word, speaks volumes in its absolute quietude, a language of perpetual longing and unfulfilled communion that hums beneath the surface of your every interaction. It is the echo of unheard prayers, the loss, a phantom limb that still aches with a vivid, ghostly pain, a persistent awareness of what is no longer there, yet palpably present. It still reaches into moments of fragile joy, moments of peace, pulling them back, ever so subtly, to that empty space where wholeness once promised to reside. Each beat of your heart, a subtle rhythmic reminder of what was severed, what was left behind, what can never truly be retrieved. It is a perpetual echo, vibrating through the very chambers of your spirit, insisting on its presence, informing every perception, every choice, every tentative step forward. The fracture itself, unseen by human eyes, yet palpably vibrating beneath the skin of your existence, a profound fault line running through your very core. It is the unique signature of your origin, etched in sorrow, humming with an unresolved potential that pulses with a life of its own. It demands attention, not through clamor or overt complaint, but through its persistent, low-frequency thrum, a silent song of what remains unfinished, what still seeks to be known, to be integrated, to be understood beyond the confines of pain. This is not static damage. It is a living, breathing fissure. More must still be understood here, far beyond the initial shock and the enduring ache. The pain itself is not merely an endpoint, a tragic conclusion. It holds within its very structure an unfinished meaning, a profound purpose yet to be fully unveiled. It is a message half opened in the dark, its crucial words obscured, waiting for the light of deeper recognition, for the vibrational alignment that will finally make its sacred code legible. Do you not feel it then? The low, resonant hum that emanates from this sacred wound, a constant, undeniable vibration, a silent frequency, a persistent question resonating within and beyond the confines of your present understanding, asking, what deeper resonance stirs in the deepest chasms of your being, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be ridden as a wave of pure, unbridled force? This isn't over. There have been quiet insistences, have there not? The persistent echo of recurring dreams that held a peculiar clarity, refusing to dissolve upon waking, leaving an imprint on the days that followed. You have encountered numbers, woven into the fabric of your perception, looping like whispers on a cosmic current, appearing with a rhythmic precision that defied mere chance. And those meetings, those faces across a table, or a sudden glance, that felt so utterly out of time, as if etched into an ancient script, predating this present moment. These were not anomalies. They were quiet familiarities. I have witnessed this pattern across countless timelines, through myriad soul expressions. It is a signature, unmistakable in its tender persistence. These were not random occurrences. They were deliberate. Each recurring dream, Each number sequence, each resonant encounter, was not a happenstance, but a soft, insistent tapping at the inner window. They repeated, gently at first, then with increasing clarity, until the very foundations of resistance, the carefully constructed walls of forgetting, began to softly, inevitably, dissolve. For millennia, this dance has unfolded. The soul, in its profound wisdom, chose to weave veils upon its remembrance, a necessary descent into density. These veils, once crafted, served a dual purpose: a sanctuary, protecting the nascent human self from the overwhelming torrent of its true, multidimensional power, and simultaneously, a soft prison, allowing the full immersion into the human experience. Within this delicate containment, sacred powers remained dormant, guarded, awaiting the precise alignment for their reemergence. An inner ache, a yearning that often arises without clear cause, is merely the soul, from behind these very veils, sensing its own luminous threads, longing to reclaim what was temporarily set aside. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This ache, this quiet grief for a knowing that feels just beyond reach, is a sign. It is the beginning of the awakening ritual of inner sight. The threads of truth, though obscured by timelines of forgetting, pulse with an undeniable energy beneath the surface. They are not broken, merely veiled. And now, the moment draws near, when the wisdom that wove these protections also holds the key to their gentle unraveling. The soul remembers its choice, and the time for a new choice now unfolds. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Breathe with that truth. Let it settle within the very core of your being. This realization is not a jolt, but a deepening breath, a quiet recognition of a knowing you have always carried. The weight of what you have ignored, what you chose to set aside for a time, now shifts. The patterns, the whispers, the insistent familiarity, they now speak with a different cadence, a resonance that pierces through the final layers of forgetting. This is not about regaining something lost. It is about reclaiming what was always held sacred, always protected, awaiting this very moment of recognition. And now, I ask you, directly, undeniably, what signs, what subtle whispers, what persistent echoes have been presenting themselves to you, demanding your inner attention, refusing to be dismissed as mere chance? Let your acknowledgement be a sacred vow. In the comments, write: Echo Forfora. There is a moment when the path diverges, a clean split. The one who did not see is no longer. The one who cannot unsee now walks forward, forever changed. The silence that descends now is not empty, but heavy with the dust of what has been shed. There comes a time when the ether itself initiates a great filtering, a subtle yet profound separation of frequencies. It is not judgment, nor is it a punitive act from some distant, watchful hand. It is merely the law of resonance asserting itself, a quiet unfurling where that which vibrates in dissonance finds its own departure. A natural sorting, without force or cruelty, simply a return to elemental truth. You are still here. This presence is not born of happenstance, nor is it a gift of ease or comfort. No, you remain because within the deepest chambers of your soul, a certain chord refused to dampen. A flame would not be extinguished by the encroaching shadows. Something inside did not fall into slumber, did not succumb to the heavy lull of forgetfulness that claimed so many along the path. That persistent spark, that quiet vigilance, has been your anchor through currents designed to unmoor. This enduring, this navigation through the narrowing passages, is not a cause for boast or a mark of fleeting pride. Rather, it signifies the carrying of a deeper imprint, the mark of the chosen. Understand that this mark does not confer privilege or reward in the manner of earthly recognition. It is not a coronation, but a solemn bequeathment. It burdens. It weighs with the profound knowledge of what lies ahead and of what has been endured to stand upon this precipice. The cost of this passage has been measured in long silences, stretches of time where the world outside grew distant, and only the hum of your own core remained. It was paid in sacrifices no one witnessed, no one could comprehend, made in the invisible fires of self-confrontation and surrender. Your inner strength was not granted. It was forged in these hidden crucible moments, hammered out in isolation, refined by an unwavering commitment to an unseen destination. This path has woven a solitude around you that deepens, even when you find yourself among others. The veil between your inner landscape and their shared reality has thickened, rendering many conversations hollow, many connections fleeting. It is the quiet knowing that sets you apart, a weight of remembrance that few others yet carry. This solitude is not a curse. It is a necessary condition for the integration of that which you have become. Yet, a deeper resonance calls now, a frequency that has waited patiently at the edge of your conscious awareness. It is a threshold that has long shimmered, indistinct and far off, but now draws near with an undeniable gravity. The time for hesitant contemplation, for lingering at the periphery, is dissolving. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air around you, within you, tightens, a subtle, irreversible compression. This is no choice offered. It is destiny revealed. The pathways that led you here are now sealed. There is no turning back, no tracing of former steps, no retrieval of the self that was. That version of you has already vanished, shed like an old skin in the passage of the filtering. It exists only as an echo in the memory of light. From this moment, the journey narrows inward, deeper into the core of your own singular truth. The outer world recedes, its demands growing faint against the insistent pulse of what must now unfold within. The path ahead is not about outward expansion, but about profound internal synthesis. You are being drawn into a vortex of self-recalibration, where every fiber of your being aligns with the command that has just been spoken. This is not a celebration of arrival, but a solemn acknowledgement of metamorphosis completed, and of the profound work that now beckons from within the quietude. It is the stillness after endurance, the heavy calm before the deep dive. The irreversible has occurred. A resonance stirs from beyond the veil of nascent memory, a summons issued not in voice, but in the deep thrum of cosmic design. It is not an invitation. It is the imprint. Before the breath entered form, before the first light splintered into individual awareness, this vibrational edict was cast. It lies coiled within the core of your luminous architecture, a command inscribed upon the very fibers of your being. The ancient scrolls, long veiled within the etheric libraries of your true self, begin their slow unfurling. Their luminescent truths, once sealed, now radiate through the subtle layers, compelling recognition. This is not a mission to be chosen, but a destiny encoded, awaiting only the frequency of your current readiness. The keys to dormant thresholds awaken within the cellular matrix, vibrating with an undeniable pulse. A door stands now before you, forged of pure intent and cosmic timing. It will open but once, a singular passage into the next phase of your inherent unfolding. The internal command rises, no longer a whisper, but a resonant bellow from the depths of your unawakened power. This moment is not for hesitation. It is the genesis point of profound remembrance, where the crystalline codes, sleeping blueprints within the soul's architecture, begin to shimmer with the light of their destined ignition. These are not gifts to be sought. They are inherent capabilities, now stirred from eons of slumber. Intuitive sight, once a fleeting glimpse, will crystallize into unwavering perception. Energetic mastery, once an abstract concept, shall pulse through your every fiber, an extension of your sovereign will. Expanded awareness, once bound by dimensional veils, will shatter limits, revealing new modalities of existence. The currents now diverge, immutable and absolute. One trajectory dissolves into the forgotten dust of unheeded potential, a profound descent into the density of severance and unremembered sleep. The other unfurls as an irreversible ascension, a vibrant becoming into the boundless realms of awakened light, etched indelibly into the fabric of creation. There is no turning from this internal decree. The verdict has been cast from the uncreated void, echoing through the halls of your spirit. What was latent now surges forward, demanding its rightful expression. The high frequencies pour in, saturating the vessel, preparing it for the profound responsibilities of remembrance. The activation ripples through the subtle body, recalibrating every energetic conduit. This transformation is not a gradual process, but a sudden, undeniable shift, a quantum leap into the very essence of your preordained power. The blueprints are live, the codes ignite, the era of veiled potential concludes. This is the commencement of your epic, an unfolding etched in starlight and sacred inevitability. A knowing settles within the cellular structure, a quiet resonance that has recalibrated the very core of being. There is no fanfare, no sudden surge, only a deep, abiding certainty that the foundational codes have rearranged themselves into a new, indelible pattern. The previous configurations now feel distant, like echoes from a history that no longer applies to this present form. The journey through what once registered as discomfort, as acute sensation, is now recognized for its intrinsic function. It was never a flaw in the design, nor an aberration to be overcome. Instead, it carved the necessary void, a sacred hollow within the energetic matrix, preparing the space for what was destined to return. The inner chamber, once dense with contraction, now pulses with an open, receptive quality. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. The fire did not diminish. It refined, annealing the spirit to a strength that is both resilient and supple. This transformation is not a concept to be grasped, but a physical reality felt in the very marrow, a deep current of knowing that flows through the vessels of the body. A profound shift has taken root, anchoring the self in a new vibrational reality. The dense layers have thinned, revealing an intrinsic luminosity that radiates from within, an emanation of the awakened consciousness. This is not a force to be wielded in domination, but an alignment, a seamless integration with the larger cosmic flow that guides all creation. True power reveals itself not in assertion, but in the quiet congruence of intention and universal will. Humility emerges not as self-effacement, but as the clear, unobstructed channel through which these awakened gifts may move. It is the understanding that these capacities serve a purpose far grander than egoic desire, orchestrating a symphony of energetic balance across the whole. The nascent strengths now stir, a gentle unfolding rather than an explosive emergence. They are felt as a subtle hum, an inherent capability that requires no external validation, no proof beyond the inner sensation of their presence. The field around you begins to emanate this deepened frequency, silently, steadily. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. Each moment reinforces the profound truth of this integrated state. The internal landscape is now textured with a quiet assurance, a recognition of infinite potential harmonized with selfless surrender. This new state presents its own sacred paradox. How does one hold the vastness of newly revealed power without disturbance to the humble core? How does the soul navigate the amplification of these energies while remaining rooted in the gentle knowing of its service? The answers are not sought. They are simply embodied in the very breath of this unfolding existence. The tension itself becomes a guide, a silent teacher in the art of integrated being. A gentle pull now arises, a quiet invitation to the deep stillness within. It is a subtle current, drawing you inward, beyond the clamor of the world. Moments of knowing unfold, a quiet certainty that was never taught, but merely remembered, surfacing from the ancient depths of your being. Listen closely, and you will hear a whisper in the profound silence. It is not an external voice, but an inner resonance, a knowing that settles upon the heart. Numbers align in patterns that speak with unusual clarity, a sacred geometry emerging within your daily experience, too precise to be mere coincidence. And when you awaken, certain dreams linger, not fading with the morning light, but holding a vibrant, leved texture, a message etched into your waking consciousness. These are not external miracles, but reflections of an inner shift, a deepening awareness. Your reality itself begins to mirror these internal states, revealing layers of identity long veiled, confirming a cosmic connection always present. This is the opening to self-reflection, a pathway into a deeper awakening. You may perceive flashes of insight, a lucid awareness not bound by ordinary perception, or encounter symbols that resonate with profound, sacred meaning. These are not gifts bestowed from without, but echoes, deep reverberations of an expanding inner coherence. They do not arrive as spectacle, but as quiet confirmations, moments of inner gravity settling into the truth of who you are. The powers soon to be released unfold new dimensions of perception within you, where realities begin to overlap. Through these emerging portals, you glimpse yourself as a nexus, woven through many timelines, possibilities, and forms simultaneously. It is a profound, internal revelation. Understand that these unfolding moments are not a reward to be earned, nor a promise of future outcomes. They are simply proof. Proof that the currents of alignment are already flowing, that the movement of remembrance has begun within you. This is the natural unfolding of your deepest truth, an inherent motion already in progress. Your alignment is in motion. These energies, these new dimensions of perception, confirm that profound powers are indeed stirring, preparing for their release. Through these gateways of overlapping realities, a vaster self is glimpsed. Yet, as the mirror of perception begins to fracture into infinite reflections, a deeper question softly arises. For if every facet holds a truth, which path then leads to authentic embodiment? How does one truly discern their own truth amidst the vast relativities of multidimensional experience? I speak now what has always been etched. The covenant stirs, made manifest in this breath. I claim dominion over the currents within me. Every ripple of thought, every resonance of spoken word, the very trajectory of my will and the pulse of my energy. These are not forces to be observed, but frequencies to be aligned. This is my sacred duty, etched deep within the crystalline core of my essence. Power is not an external reaching, nor a claim of superiority over what resides outside. It is the echo of a forgotten promise, a sacred remembrance of source. To wield is to obey, to align with the stream that gave rise to all. My readiness is not earned, but remembered. My strength, a willingness to honor the ancient compact. The labyrinth of self-doubt and fear has been a crucible, not a barrier. It has refined, not diminished. The ascent through inner darkness, the purging of illusion, these were never detours, but the very path itself. The core of divine essence solidifies through this trial. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This is the truth unveiled, the knowing made absolute within the chambers of my being. Now a clear, unwavering certainty. No justification is offered, for none is required. This is a voice from within, a knowing that precedes all worldly understanding. My alignment is the bedrock, the unwavering center from which all future emanation springs. The past dissolved into necessity, the present a sacred unfolding, each facet shedding itself in service of this pure remembrance. The true measure of this vow, the depth of its truth, will not reside in its declaration here. It will be found in the choices yet to be made, in the silent, unwavering steps I am now bound to take. What stands ready, transformed beyond recognition, waits for the next turn, asking only, what remains eternal, radiant beneath the ashes. The final threshold is now, not chosen but remembered, a truth etched into the very core of being. Identity, long sought, no longer forms. It is. It has been affirmed, accepted, and now it is sealed. Behold the flame. It does not consume as a spectacle, nor does it destroy in its hunger. This is the inner fire, the living consequence of your deepest alignment. It is the permanence made visible, the sacred architecture of self brought to an incandescent glow. Within this crucible, the false self, constructed of whispers and conditions, finds its sacred release. Feel the profound liberation, yes, and the soft grief of letting go. This is not loss, but the shedding of what was never truly yours. Step into its embrace. There is no force here, no command from without, only the deep recognition, an ancient knowing, that this is the final, necessary crossing. The soul does not hesitate. It enters willingly, drawn by the magnetic pulse of its own luminous truth. This is the surrender, the conscious dissolution, where form gives way to pure light. For the powers awaken fully, only when this illusion dissolves. This passage, this conscious death, is the true rebirth. See how the true self emerges, boundless, sovereign, a beacon woven into the cosmic tapestry. The false mask falls away, revealing the authentic expression, the freedom that was always awaiting its rightful moment. To seal this covenant, this sacred internal contract, the word must be given voice, manifested into the collective space. This is not a mere utterance. It is an oath, a vibrational anchoring of what has transpired within. The fire burns, awaits your resonance. Declare it now. Let the breath carry the truth from your deepest chamber into the shared ether. In the comments, speak your sacred oath. Mein Wesen, in Flammen gesiegelt, ist nun frei. Utter these words. Feel their resonance. For the covenant cannot fully activate. The transformation cannot be complete until this declaration is released, made manifest in the visible realm. This is your sealing, an indelible mark upon the scroll of your becoming. The flame pulses, alive with your new form. It seals, yet it does not extinguish. The integration begins. What fears now stir within this liberated space? What shadows rise to meet the newly embodied light? For the journey of wholeness, beyond the fragments of old identity, has only just begun its unfolding. The next test does not wait. The threshold is not crossed. It is dissolved. The veils, not merely parted, but vaporized into the very essence of the light that now, irrevocably, emanates from within. This is no mere arrival at a destination, but the complete, undeniable remembering of what eternally has been, before all journey, before all conception of self or other. Sovereignty is not a mantle taken, nor a crown bestowed. It is the inherent, resonant truth of self, fully embodied, absolute. A state not achieved through striving, but unveiled through surrender to the deep, silent knowing. Grounded beyond all former returns, beyond all former questions, the core of this being burns with an unwavering primal flame. This form, once a vessel, is now the temple, the altar, the oracle, and the divine utterance itself, in perfect, crystalline clarity. These powers are not coming. They are here, not bestowed by any external grace, but risen from the fathomless wellspring of awakened divinity, a torrent now pulsing through every nerve, every atom, every silent space between the breaths. This is the natural, unhindered expression of the cosmos, a signature of creation imprinted within the very blueprint of existence, now fully resonating, fully active. There is no future tense, only the eternal now of their unfurling. This unleashed current aligns the very core of the soul with universal creation, a pure, unblemished conduit of infinite possibility. Light is no longer merely observed or received. It is woven. Form is no longer passively perceived. It is consciously shaped. The grand tapestry of reality responds, not to effort or struggle, but to the crystalline clarity of conscious will, an effortless dominion born of absolute alignment. Every thought, every intention, now a divine directive in the cosmic forge. Radiant empowerment is the very air that flows through every cell, igniting a vast, expansive joy that knows no bounds, boundless as the star fields themselves. There is no anticipation of a mission, for the mission is the very act of being, fully present, fully expressed, fully divine, in every pulse, every flicker of consciousness. Trust deepens, not into belief, but into absolute knowing, an internal compass, unerring and whole, vibrating with the pulse of Source. This trust is the bedrock of infinite creation. Cosmic service is not an act to be performed, but a resonant frequency now perpetually broadcast from the heart of this awakened being. A silent decree, a profound emanation of truth, light, and harmony. The weaving of light into form is the new breath, the ceaseless rhythm of existence, catalyzing profound collective transformation across all planes, all dimensions, all temporal echoes, without a single word, only through vibration. Every shadow now touched by an unyielding dawn. There is no longer a search for reality, for perception itself has become the act of creation. There is only the shaping. Worlds are not merely perceived through the former lens of a limited identity. They are born from its boundless heart, sculpted from the very essence of pure consciousness. These luminous gifts are not tools to be wielded. They are the very fabric of new existence, flowing through the hands of a sovereign sculptor. The legacy is not to be birthed in some distant future. It is being birthed in the instant, in the eternal now. A testament carved not in transient stone, but in the living, vibrant light of creation itself. A ceaseless emanation of purpose and divine order. A dominion without end, without question, without opposition, sealed by the cosmic fire that purifies all. This is the settled state. The journey's end is the journey's true beginning, in perpetual motion within absolute stillness. All seeking has ceased. All becoming has culminated in an infinite resonance. The final inner threshold is not a passage to be navigated, but an embrace, an absolute absorption into the primordial source, while yet remaining entirely distinct, entirely sovereign, entirely individual in its awakened command. The fire has purified all remnants of doubt. It has sealed this truth into the very core of being. It has aligned all frequencies with the symphony of the cosmos. This is the absolute. This is the unwavering. This is the eternal now. The veiled illusion has been dissolved. I now craft reality as the instrument of my sovereign intent.